Welcome back to the quick news, silly season, and anything you want to think of. The microphone is a little bit low. Sorry. And anything you want to think of now that we're back from the summer break, right? So let's get into it as per usual. Now we have this Audi and Sauber deal announcement coming up in Spa. Looks like everything has been already clarified. Seems like there were some rumors saying that Andretti and Audi were working together. However, Andretti did kind of refuse to use the installations from Sauber in Hinwil in Switzerland. So Audi is finally buying 75% of Sauber installations that they are already using anyway. So they will use everything that is belonging to Sauber to make the whole team and everything now that the rules for 2026 has been already established. And the chassis and all the other stuff will be done in their base in Germany. Forgot the city name. Anyway, whatever. F1 is never going back to Russia again. Domenicali has been asked about it, and he said that they are not negotiating for a new contract, and they will not negotiate ever again for a new contract with Russia, thanks to the war that is happening with Ukraine. You can like it or not, you can support one side or the other one. However, F1 doesn't give a crap, and they will not be going back to Russia ever again. So that means that one Grand Prix down, they have to change it for another one. Probably Kialami in South Africa. Negotiations are already very advanced. And looks like Vietnam will never come back to the calendar. Shanghai looks like it's going to be there once China reinstates the not zero COVID policy, right? Anyway, Red Bull, we all know that had problems with a heavy car. They didn't know how to solve it. Williams had been like reducing some kind of weight with the paint and other stuff. Other teams had other solutions. So Red Bull apparently had to redesign the whole chassis and has to pass the new crash test for the FIA for the impact and to see if they can withstand everything. Should have no problem. And looks like they will be introducing this either in Spa, which I don't think so because it's this weekend, or for the next Grand Prix. I think it's in Zandvoort. So yeah, it looks like they will be gaining some kind of time for that. We all know as well that Spa, for example, is kind of endangered to disappear from the calendar, even though it's a fan favorite. Like everybody is waiting for this Grand Prix to happen, which is this weekend. So I really recommend everyone to watch it. Everybody's waiting for this Grand Prix, right? This one, Monza, Silverstone, this kind of like epic, classic Grand Prix. I would include Monaco maybe, but Monaco nobody gives a crap because it's very boring. However, Spa, if it rains, like looks like it's gonna rain this weekend, is the Grand Prix. It's super spectacular every single time, and it's kind of unpredictable, right? Everybody loves it. The racetrack is amazing, and looks like the F1 trying to expand a little bit the places where they go to the USA. They want to get rid of some Grand Prix. France looks like it's not coming back. There are other Grand Prix that actually do not really give a lot to the F1. So Horner, among other people, proposed that Spa, Silverstone and Monza, or the classic Grand Prix, should be kind of supported to stay in the calendar, whatever it takes, right? We know Monaco, for example, the canon that they pay for to stay in the F1 is like much lower than other Grand Prix. I think Grand Prix usually pay like $20 to $25 million or euros to stay in the F1 or to host a F1 Grand Prix per year or per Grand Prix, however you want to call it. Monaco pays like 5 or 6 million, which is much less, and it's like the worst Grand Prix in the whole calendar. So why not do the same thing with Spa or Silverstone or Monza, which are kind of the Grand Prix that have issues paying the canon, right? Especially Spa. So Horner proposes to protect these Grand Prix, to keep them in the calendar, especially Spa for me would be kind of like a crime if it disappears, right? Everybody loves Spa. Who doesn't? So Another thing to discuss is also what the hell is going on with Ferrari or in Ferrari. Binotto, after the Hungarian Grand Prix, even though everybody criticized their strategy, he said that the car was slow and they didn't have the pace. When Leclerc was in P1 and they had the winning strategy, like he was the first, he could continue with the mediums and then change to softs as Hamilton did. But anyway, so what's going on with Ferrari? Like they already destroyed several races for Leclerc, like in Silverstone, like in Monaco. Not to talk about the reliability issues, right? That Leclerc should have like more than like 5 or 6 Grand Prix more that actually went to Verstappen or Perez or Sainz in Silverstone, or right? What the hell happens in Ferrari? What's the problem with the strategy? Why do they get so nervous every single time? I'm kind of sure that in Hungary, if Mercedes was in the situation where Leclerc was in P1 and Hamilton was in P1, they wouldn't make the same mistake. So I think there will be some reorganization in the team in Italy. It looks like some heads are gonna be cut to bring new people, new strategists, new engineers. New engineers is not really necessary. Like I have the best car, so why would they do that? And talking also about things that are coming up, we have some new people that are going to be making their debut in F1, in FP1 in Spa, for example, Liam Lawson, since Yuri Vips was let go from the Red Bull program, or no, people still don't know what's happening there. So anyway, Lawson is going to be taking his place. He will be testing in FP1 for the Red Bull team. Giovinazzi will be also joining the Haas team probably for next year, preparing Ferrari engine. We don't know. Anyway, he will be in FP1 in Spa. So is he Red Bull's next young driver? We don't know. For now, looks like everything is kind of confirmed. Nobody's going anywhere. The 4 drivers of Red Bull Academy, all the Red Bull teams are going to be staying there. Tsunoda is not confirmed, but looks like they are going to be staying with him. Anyway, back to silly season. Like I mentioned, Giovinazzi is going to be testing in Monza and Austin for the Haas team. What does this mean? Like, we know that Magnussen is going to be staying for next year in the team. However, Mick Schumacher is not confirmed. What's going to happen with Mick Schumacher? Well, looks like they were trying to use Aston Martin to like force Haas to start negotiating with Mick and get a renewal in case of like they were afraid he was leaving. Now that he's kind of starting to perform. However, things changed when Aston Martin confirmed Fernando Alonso, as we all know. It was like the big thing that happened in Hungary, right? So now Haas, especially Gunther Steiner, who is kind of famous for having a steel hand, he's kind of waiting, pausing to see the whole season if they need to renew with Mick Schumacher or not. Let's remember, Mick Schumacher is a Ferrari driver, which means that it comes with cheaper engines and other kind of stuff, right? So what's going to happen with Mick Schumacher? Well, there is kind of like a thing going on. Like Giovinazzi now is testing for Haas, so maybe they will be going for a kind of experienced driver, seeing that Mazepin and Schumacher were not the best thing. With Magnussen, looks like Schumacher gave a step forward. Is it enough? Will they require somebody with more experience like Giovinazzi? Things are moving. Why? Well, Piastri was supposed to be substituting Alonso in Alpine, right? However, as we mentioned many times, he was negotiating not just with Williams, but also with McLaren. And now that Alpine confirmed Piastri and he said no, looks like he will be going to McLaren instead of Daniel Ricciardo, who is demanding around 25 million euros to leave the team. So who's going to be driving for Alpine? Ricciardo could be the one making a swap. Piastri for Ricciardo looks like not very likely. So who else will be going in there? Ricciardo didn't say that he doesn't want to go to Alpine, but looks like it's not like the first choice driver for Alpine for some reason, even though when he was there he kind of performed very well, right? What is the thing? Like Ricciardo apparently also has contacts with Haas. It's not a Ferrari driver, which means it would be not very beneficial for them. However, now that with the new regulations and everything, every F1 team is actually gaining money, they don't have so many things that like they don't need to keep Mick Schumacher unless they really need to, right? So the Gunther Steiner called Ricciardo to see what the situation is. Looks like they might be negotiating. However, Aston Martin door is closed. Williams could be an option. Staying McLaren for another year doesn't seem very wise, not for both parties. So Haas and Alpine are the only alternatives free for Ricciardo. Considering that Williams is the last team, I don't think he would like to go there, right? So what's the other thing? Gasly was the next name that came into the table, but Gasly is not available. Even though apparently there was some thing with the contract, or that's what they were saying. Like he had something that he was able to negotiate with other teams in case they came. Looks like it's not true. Helmut Marko already said that he was not going anywhere. So he looks like he's going to be staying in AlphaTauri for next year, waiting to see what's going to happen in the market next year. Let's remember that most drivers are finishing the contract next year. Russell, he's going to stay in Mercedes. Hamilton is finishing next year. Is he going to stay for longer in F1? Does he want to stay? And the other drivers are also finishing in 2023. So looks like he's going to wait and see what happens. So what's the next name on the table? Well, Mick Schumacher would be another name, right? Even though he's a Ferrari Academy driver, Ferrari were not very happy with him. Now that he's starting to perform, looks like he's starting to be on the table as well for other teams, as was Aston Martin thanks to Sebastian Vettel. So Alpine could be another option. Alpine, I don't think they have anything against it. Having a name like Schumacher in their team would be very beneficial for merchandising and everything. It's a constructor team, which means Mick Schumacher would actually benefit from that. They're not that bad. They are better than Haas many races, and especially they should have more budget than Haas does, with better teams, better engineers, better everything, right? So he would actually win with that. Will it happen? We will have to wait and see. Anyway, as I mentioned, after the summer break, things get confirmed. Albon was confirmed. Alonso changed the team. Sebastian Vettel retired, and things are starting to move, right? So what's gonna happen? We don't know what's gonna happen with Alpine. They have many drivers, but apparently nobody wants to go to Alpine because it's a big chaos. For me, it's a decent team. They are a constructor. They have the budget. They have the personnel. It could be an option. What's the problem? One, Esteban Ocon looks like he's not very good team player, as we saw this year with Alonso and in the past with Perez, for example. Even though Ricciardo wiped the face with the floor with his face. But anyway, so Ricciardo could be an experienced driver that could help the team to go forward. For me, would be the logical option. Bringing Mick Schumacher could be not very good. He doesn't have that much experience. He has been in Haas. The first year was like a really bad car. The second year, thanks to Magnussen, they are going forward. Does he have the experience to develop the car? Does he have the maturity to lead the team? Even though Ocon, I don't think will let him, as we are seeing with Alonso. Anyway, so moving another team, Williams Racing. Who's gonna be there with Albon? Now that Albon has been confirmed, Red Bull is gonna loan it to Williams for another year. So who's gonna be there with Albon? Latifi, after they changed the chassis, he was complaining that chassis was not the same as Albon and had some problems. They changed it for Silverstone. He thinks that he's performing better now, so he deserves to stay in the team. Let's not forget, he was a pay to drive, right? His father's company, Sofina Foods, was paying Williams a big amount of money so his son could be racing there, and money that Williams needed not to disappear. Now that I think it was called Capital One, right, purchased the team, Williams, and now that with the new regulations, as I mentioned, in the case of Haas, also for Williams, they are making money. They don't need him anymore, right? So is he going to stay? The other name that is now that Piastri looks like it's kind of linked to McLaren. They said they have a pre-contract signed. The other name that was in the stand was Nick De Vries, right? Driver for Mercedes. Looks like they were trying to get away from each other. Mercedes didn't have a place for De Vries. De Vries wanted to look for his own future. So Williams could be like the last resort for De Vries. Could he be there? Looks like it's the driver that is going to be chosen. The other one could be Logan Sargent, which is the Williams young academy driver. I don't know if he has the points for the super license. However, doesn't look like a smart choice to have Albon, which is kind of a young driver, with another very young driver without experience in F1 like Logan Sargent. De Vries has been testing for Mercedes, has been in their simulator, has been champion of Formula E, Formula 2. So he's a driver with good luggage, right, behind him. So looks like he would be the smart choice, and looks like he is going to be the one chosen to go with Albon next year in the Williams car. So for now, this is gonna be it. I know I promised to make an analysis. I am working on it. It's not very easy, but I think tomorrow I will make a video about the analysis before we go into the second half of the season, even though it's not the second half already. I think it's like 9 races remaining or 10 races remaining. But anyway, I will try to make a video to see how was everything happening, teammate comparisons. I know many other people did it already, but I just want to remind it before we start the really hectic second half of the season with the best race of the calendar, Spa-Francorchamps. Friday another video. Don't lose this race, please, because it's amazing. Stay tuned. As news get confirmed, we will make videos as everybody else does for F1. I don't know if I have enough views, but anyway, take it easy, stay tuned, and see you.